Namaste students. Today I am here with another session on writing skill. Today I will discuss on email writing. This is very important because today's world is captured by internet. Now school is also an e-school. Therefore, we have to much focus on internet oriented things. Today this is not a world of letters. Letters are not posted. We are not so much exhilarated by the call of the postmaster that he comes, handed over the letter, and we are throbbing inside to uncover the letter or to tear the envelope to get the substance. This is not the period. Today's world is within the box. Only single click or ring that definitely indicates a message has come to you. But it's very important. From that aspect, we have to learn or we have to empower ourselves with technology. So therefore, we will discuss how to write an email. First of all, email is not replacing the letter. I cannot say like this. Letter has its own importance. But email is very important for quick response because when you are writing a letter for your information, an email is also written in the form of a formal letter. But where lies the difference? If you write a letter, you have to post it. You have to depend for a few more days to reach it to the destination. Sometimes it reaches, sometimes it doesn't reach because it depends on some external resources. And therefore, if it does not reach on time, the purpose of writing the letter, it becomes a complete failure. It becomes a futile effort. But email, you are writing the same thing and you are sending through a mail. What happens? The difference is here that definitely it reaches through your internet connection. It doesn't depend on any external resource. That's the only difference. So with a click, you can send it to the person. On the other hand, it also becomes easy to get an answer from that person. For an example, you are writing a letter to get a response from the other person. So think that it will reach after 5 or 6 days, maybe 10 days if it gets delayed. That person will read and after that he will manage some time to write a letter. And then again he will post this letter, again takes 6 or 10 more days to reach to you, and ultimately the plan gets fulfilled. So it's a span of 20 days. That much time you don't have. Today's world is very fast. Therefore, if you write an email, it will reach to that person within an instant and you can get the reply within an instant. So within 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes, I'm talking about maximum time. If that person checks, definitely it's a question mark. If the internet is not on for that person, it might get delayed. But within 5 minutes, communication can be done. Now think it, 20 days and 5 minutes. That's the essential difference between email writing and letter writing. But truly, letter has its own resource. Letter has its own taste and flavor. That's a different story. What my point is that an email is also written in the form of a formal letter. It's not different. The exact format is placed. But whenever you are writing an email, you have to understand. As a student, you have to write on a page. On a page, this is an exam paper where you are writing your answers. So you have to think this is a mobile screen or the screen of the device where you are writing the email. An internet connection is there. You have to think, you have to imagine it. Ultimately, you are writing in a page, but you have to think that this is actually the surface of the device, display of the device where you are writing, where you are placing your thoughts. I hope I'm clear up to this point. So it follows the pattern of a formal letter because formally you are writing this letter to a person for one purpose. You know which the purpose is. So that is an email. But before I talk about an email, we have to understand the format. Only the format is different. If you go on checking my 2 lectures on paragraph writing where I have specifically mentioned that everything you have to write with the help of paragraphs. This is the backbone. This is the foundational basis. But the format is only different. Whether it's T20 match, whether it's 50 over match, whether it's test cricket. Only the format is different. But you need 11 players. You need the same bat and ball and wickets. You need the same ground. That is not changed. I hope this example will clarify your doubts. It's also a formal letter when you are writing an email. But the format is different, therefore it looks different. T20 becomes very fast cricket. Why? Because the format is different. It's a requirement. You cannot be very slow. Where in test cricket, it is the requirement that you have to be there on crease for a long time. That's a requirement. Accordingly, you are behaving in that particular field. So here also, even though you are writing a formal letter, your behavior, your maturity, your conduct, your way of expression, these are slightly different. That's the only thing. So just I will show you the format. This is actually the page. Sorry, you can, This is actually the page. You can see the sender's address. And there is to, then subject and compose mail. It's written there. This is the page I have just clicked. So first comes sender's address. First comes the sender's address. Yes, this is the format. Number 1, email ID of the sender. Next, email ID of the receiver to whom you are sending. Then comes the subject matter of the mail or email that you are writing. Again, I told you that a real message or real email consists of 3 paragraphs. So 3 paras you are writing. And finally, you are getting ready for the message and you are waiting for the send option. So this is the format. Here, one thing you have to be very cautious about, that from you don't have to write. From you don't have to write. Because it's already there in the device. When you will take your cursor to that option, automatically from will be deleted. It will be obliterated automatically. Only you have to write the address, email address. Again, if you come to the address of the receiver, again, something will be there, but if you take your cursor, everything will be deleted and you will be writing only the address. Subject, it will be flashing as subject. But if you take the cursor in that particular link or gap or place, automatically subject will be evaporated and you have to place only the subject. I hope I'm clear about this. So you are not separately, as you are writing your answer on page, you are not writing from to subject. Normally what we write in formal letter, we write sub colon and then write. But in case of email, we are not doing this because this option is already there. I told you that you have to imagine that this is actually a page or the display of the device where you are placing your thoughts. So the moment you will take your cursor, everything will be gone. So just you are writing your subject. Subject separately, sub you are not writing. You are not supposed to write. So when these things are done, ultimately you are coming compose mail. So where you are placing the body of your mail. Whatever requirement and whatever things that you need to share with that particular person, you can write down and you can send whenever it gets ready. Hope it's clear. Now I will show you an example. It's very easy. It's very easy. I will show you an example that how to write an essay. An email. But before you write an email, few things you have to be very clear about. These are the features, specific features of email. It's going to be formal writing, official purpose. It's going to be formal. It's not at all informal. So hi, hello, hey, these words you cannot use. In my class, I have talked about what are formal expressions and what are informal expressions. So you just be clear about those expressions. So here, when you are writing an email, you have to be very specific about formal expressions. So it's going to be a formal writing. Next, I have written very crisp. Crisp means you have to be very much point specific once again. Whatever things you want to share, you have to share only that only. There will be no digression. There is no point to be digressive, to be distracted from the main topic. If you're talking about something, you have to be very much focused on that only. That's the only thing you have to be very, very specific and cautious about. Next, language. It has to be straightforward. You are not using a language which is very much esoteric and very oily language. You have to be very much straightforward. You have to be very choosy with your words, that which word will function, which word will fit the best for your emotions. You have to think a lot. So you are not using flowery language. That, sir, you are very great. Such a great person I have never seen. These are not the things that you are trying to mention here. So for that you need a personal message. Will be point specific. Whichever idea, whichever problem, whichever solution, whichever subject you are looking for, you have to be very much bound to that. So that is point specific. And will serve an alternate, maybe an alternate of letter. Yes. Later on may be followed by a letter. Sometimes it happens. Today it functions. Why am I writing the last point? Because it's very valid reason. If you go for any recruitment process, what happens before that? If there is any interview, if the organization is going to take an interview, they will also send a letter. At the same time, they will send a mail to you. Why? Because mail reaches. Might be that letter will reach after the date of interview. It happens. Several times it happens. So therefore, this is a case that they have also taken a measurement that this is a valid system to send a message before we write a letter and post that letter to that person. So it also behaves an alternative of a letter. So these are the things. While you are writing an email, these are the points you have to keep it in mind because these are very essential. And I told you this is just like a formal letter. You have to bear the same elements over here. I hope this much is clear. Next, I will go to a topic. For an example, you think that you have to write an email to the head of an institution inviting the students from class 5 to 10 to join in an art competition that the Royal Club has organized. I'm simplifying. Royal Club has organized an art competition. You are writing an email to the head of one institution requesting him to send few students so that they can take part and it becomes a successful event. This is the question. How to write? Think about, I have written like this. First of all, this is sender's address, email ID. Everything is written in small letter because you know it very well that email ID is written in small letter. So accordingly I have written. It should be a valid one. You should not write abcdz@gmail.com. You should not. You have to be bit perfect. Next, there is a space. Space is mentioned over here by this. You can see that there is a considerable gap between these two because these are the blanks. These are the spaces. If you check again the display, you will get to know that there are spaces. There are different spaces meant for these two. So this one is sender's message, receiver's ID, again gap. Check, I did not write from, here I did not write from. Here I did not write to. Why? Because it's already there. When you are putting those in your device, already it is placed properly. I have written it as subject, but I did not mention as SUB because it's there. I have already mentioned to you. What did I write? It's a very crispy one within maximum 6 to 7 words. You are not writing a sentence because email is going to be very crispy. I told you it has to be very short. You are not writing a full length letter. Just you are intimidating the message to that person. You can also write that later will be followed. Means later will come. Just this is an intimation that this is happening. So you should get ready or you should be very much aware of the fact. This is your intention. So again I'm repeating, sender's address, receiver's address, and then the subject. Very crispy, very short. What did I write? An invitation to join in art competition. I did not use any flowery language. Very straightforward. And I'm very choosy about the word. Then again, considerable gap. Respected sir or madam. You can also write respected head. It's your choice because it depends on your imagination and it depends on the condition, the present condition that you are writing for. Respected sir and madam, comma, and there is a considerable gap. Think it or check that it's written in the same order. This is the same line I'm drawing. It's not the paragraph system that you have to start it over here. It's not like this. An email where you are maintaining a line over here. So this is my first passage. I told you that an ideal image consists of 3 passages. I have written 3 passages. This is the first one passage. What did I write? I, as the member of Royal Club, beg to state that on 5th September, Friday of this running year, check it, everything is clear. No imaginative statement, unnecessary sentences. I'm just giving very point specific ideas. The date, day, this running year. You can also mention 2020. So everything is shared. September, there we are organizing an art competition for standard 5 to 10 students. It is also very specific. I did not mention that all students. So what is your main intention? That has to come within limited space. You are not getting a provision to write and write and write and write. Nobody has that much time to write because you are writing an email for quick intimation so that you can get a quick reply. If you write pages after pages, that person doesn't have time. Otherwise, that person will think that, okay, this is too long. I will get a time, then I will read. That would be the condition. First of all, when you are writing an email, you have to get the nerve of an email. What is it meant for? Standard 10, 5 to 10 students. It will be held at our own venue, that is VIP Road, near SN Hospital, Kolkata 28, during 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning. So this is all about the details of the program. So the first passage talks about everything. So that whenever the receiver gets this message, he comes to know that what's the intention of this email, what's the purpose of this email. And with the simple passage, he gets everything about this art competition, that this is on this date, this time, this is the venue, and this is meant for the students of these classes. Here separately I have written one thing also, that this first passage, what does it talk about? It also gives an introduction of the sender. Sometimes if the receiver gets such kind of message, he or she will be very much stunned and surprised that who sends this message. But I have clearly written as a member of Royal Club. So you get an idea, an introduction, very small introduction, crispy introduction about the sender. Then events, details of the events, art competition, venue, time and date, year, everything you get. So I did not miss out. You might think that 5th September is very famous day. Everybody knows it. But ultimately it's your duty. When you are informing a person, it's your duty to inform the person with details so that the person gets to know everything. Whether he doesn't have to search whether it's Friday or Sunday or something like this. So you make it easy. That's your intention as a writer. I told you that as a writer, you have to clarify all the doubts and confusion in the minds of the readers. Then only you can establish yourself as a good writer, excellent writer. And events meant for. So these are the crucial points that you require or you need to share with the person that you are trying to share. I hope this is clear. So what I meant, that language has to be very crisp. Did you check it that, okay, my choice of words, sentence, these are very straightforward and very simple. I did not use complex and complicated sentence structures. Why? Because my intention is very simple. This is passage number 1. This passage ends over here. This is the second passage. Again, you have to keep a considerable gap. This is the second passage. It looks a little bit long because I have written, the front size is a little bit bigger and I have used the full length page so that it becomes visible for you. Therefore, even though it looks a little bit long, but it's not so long. Second passage. Now, it describes the event in details. Further, understand what did I write. This competition is meant to impart knowledge on the day meant for teachers. Definitely 5th September. It's a teacher's day. So to impart knowledge, when the students are drawing something of their own imaginations based on teacher's day, definitely it means that they have thought on this. They have researched on this. And this will impart knowledge to them. That's the intention of Royal Club. Before they have thought about art competition. So here the intention of the competition is clearly mentioned. Broadly, the topic will be Teachers' Day. This is also mentioned. What would be the topic? Broadly, it's going to be a Teachers' Day. Now in the next sentence, Teachers' Day, but students are free to decide anything they wish to focus. Which aspect they are going to take up? It depends on them. They can draw the picture of Radhakrishnan. They can draw their favorite teachers. They can draw their school. And they can draw teacher-student relationship. They can think about books and other things. Anything it can be based on. So broadly it's going to be based on Teachers' Day, but students are a bit free so that they can choose, they can decide their own topics. So everything is clear. The person who receives this email should not have a second question that, okay, which topic? Will that be given on that spot? Sometimes these questions arise on anything they wish to focus. We request you to send promising students so that we can exhibit those in the evening. You are also planning that there will be an exhibition. If pictures are very good, if they are drawn properly, then you can go for an exhibition for the awareness of the same. Please note, only colors will be provided. That is also mentioned, that only colors they will provide. So you have to take chart papers because topic is given to you. Topic is very clear. Now you know which one you are going to draw. Accordingly, you design yourself. Whether you need a board, whether you need a simple page, whether you need a pencil, whether you need a marker. But if you need colors, then colors will be provided. If you need a board, these things you have to carry with yourself. This statement talks about the clarity of the requirements that these members will provide to the candidates. So please note, only colors will be provided. We request you to send the names of the students as early as possible so that we can be ready from our end. It's a request that please send the names of the students as early as possible. Why? They need to be ready with colors. Accordingly, they will count. They need to allot spaces. So you also need to have a requirement. You need to have a kind of arrangement, preparation. Therefore, you are requesting that person that you send those names as early as possible so that we can take preparation accordingly. Now, second passage. What does it talk about? This is the summary of the second passage. Check it. Clarity of the program. In the first passage, we have just initiated what is the program. That this is art competition. It's not a cricket game. So we have only talked about art competition. But in the second passage, in second paragraph, we have clarified what kind of art competition. What's the basis of this competition? What's the subject of this competition? How to formulate this? Everything is clarified. Plan for exhibition. You have also mentioned that if these are well qualified pictures, then definitely you can go for an exhibition. Exhibition for the awareness of knowledge or awareness of this particular day. Personal request to the person. Please, personal request, what? Please send those names and send some promising candidates because you are looking for an exhibition. You cannot tell, sir, only send 5 students. You cannot tell like this. So you have mentioned that as there is an exhibition, it is expected that you will send some promising students who are really excellent, who are very skilled on painting. Understand, as a writer, you have to be very critical. Openly, you cannot speak like this. That's we have only requirement of 5 because other schools have come in. So it's going to be huge number of candidates. These many candidates we cannot handle. Can you speak like this? No. But in an oblique manner, you are just trying to share an idea that please send some promising students because we are going for an exhibition. That's the critical idea. And advantages or disadvantages that I have just mentioned, that you need to have a preparation. If there are so many on that particular day, if you do not know that how many students are going to join on that particular day, it's going to be chaotic because your space is very much limited. Otherwise, you have to take an arrangement for that separately. So you need to have an intimation for that. So you are just clarifying all these points. Again, check this passage. It's very clean and clear. Everything is shared so that the receiver doesn't have any pinch of doubt in his or her mind about this art competition. At the same time, it's very crispy, very much limited. It's not occupying too much space by saying unnecessary elements. That you can come by vehicle, auto, it's not a problem. There is a parking space. These are not important. You can come by auto rickshaw, cycle, this and that. That's not the point of these members. So you are not going to add those elements because these are unnecessary elements. Second passage is done. Now we are going to talk about the third one. See, it's very small, where you are concluding everything. You are just bringing to a conclusion. What did I write? We are eagerly waiting for a positive response. You are also very positive for that person. So therefore, you are just requesting that. Additionally, we cordially welcome you to be present on that day. It's a bit personal and emotional connection that you are showing so that that person becomes happy for that presentation. And if that person also comes with the students, then definitely it's going to be a grace. We cordially welcome to be present on that day. It will add colors on our striving, definitely. Students are doing something with the help of colors, but your presence will add colors to our program. It's true. If the head of the institution comes with the students, it's a grace, it's an honor. Your kind appreciation or approach will be highly appreciated. So it's the conclusion. Again, you are not saying that, sir, you are the great teacher. You are heading the institution so well that nobody could do it. Therefore, we know that we will give a positive response. And therefore, such a huge, gigantic figure, if he comes to that program, our program is going to be a brilliant, insightful. You are not writing using these flamboyant words because it doesn't require your purpose. Very straightforward. You have to be very much estimated with your thoughts. You need to have an estimation of your ideas, that which words, which constructions you are going to put in. Passage gets over. So what does it summarize? It summarizes these other things. Expectation, that we are expecting positive responses. Welcome note. You are also giving a welcome note to that person that you are also invited. It's going to be bad. Sir, you cannot come, but please send your students only. Can you speak like this? No. You are also welcome to that. Thanksgiving, you are giving thanks. And conclusion, ultimately you are bringing a conclusion. What kind of conclusion? That your presence will add colors to our program. So these are the conclusions. And finally, it goes to an end. Considerable gap because change of para. Thanking you, comma, again gap. Yours faithfully, again comma, considerable gap. Your name, Joydeep Mukherjee. No gap, no space where you are writing a member of Royal Club. You are giving your own identity once again. And this letter gets ready and just it's waiting for the send button. The moment you click in send button, it will reach to the receiver. It will reach to the receiver. I hope I'm very clear. I thought that with this example, whatever vagueness you have, it will be definitely absorbed by this example. Now, at last, we will talk about the importance of an email writing. First, I have written quick communication. I told you that if you send a letter, you have to wait for 20 more days, maybe more, maybe that it will not reach at the end after mad waiting. But this will definitely reach if you have a device and internet connection. So quick communication. And that person, suppose if you're sending this message to the person who is the head of the institution, he can just send, yes, I will just look after it. So you will get a positive response, even though he has not sent messages. At last of this message says that please send some the names of the promising candidates. Maybe for that he needs or she needs 2 more days. Because he or she needs to inform to the students. Students will think on it and they will submit the name. So it takes some days. But the teacher, after reading this, if he sends or she sends a message that yes, I will look after it, you will get a positive response. That is possible through email, but it's not possible through letter. That's the difference. Next, self-sufficient. It is very much self-sufficient. Whenever you are outside, you cannot write a letter because you need a board, you need a pen, you need a paper. And that paper, paper, if it is a single paper, you need a support. So you have to depend on so many things. But here, if you need a device or if you need internet connection, only these 2 things you can send it. Suppose you have gone somewhere to drop your mother and your mother is inside and you are waiting outside. Those 5 minutes are enough for you to compose a mail, but these 5 minutes are not enough to write a letter. So therefore, email is very much self-sufficient. Can be sent at any place. To send a letter, you need to get a PIN code, details of the address, but here you need the address of the sender. That's the only thing. Basic consumption of things. You need pen, paper, the postal code, these. At the same time, you go to the post, you'll have to wait for the line. You need an envelope, postal stamp, this and that. So you need so many things, but here you need only 2 things. And finally, it saves pages. And you know that we need greenery in this world, and this really saves so many trees and easy access. While you are sitting, you can write this. While you are walking, you can also write this. You can respond to that mail, but for a later, it's not possible. So this is all about email. I hope I have clarified all your confusions. Still, if there is any confusion in your mind, please let me know whenever we will face to face. Thank you so much.